Hi, welcome back to Kick My Asana. My name's Melanie Dawn, and today we're doing something a little bit different. So up until this point, we've been mostly doing a yang style or yang style practice. Today we're going to play with the yin style of a practice, which is longer, slower holds, less cardio, less demanding of the breath, but can be equally challenging for the body depending on how open or closed or muscular or strong you are, which means the muscle will shorten and cause you a little bit more sensation than if you have a lot of openness through the back body. So where we'll start is on our backs, and I think that this is probably one of the trickiest parts of doing a wall sequence is getting actually on the wall. So I like to cue students to have a hip against the wall or be closest to, you could actually even do this with like a post if there's a post by. No, I'm taking that back. We'll need a full wall. So if you could have a full wall here, that much length, and also have a pillow close by just in case you need it. And let's get started. If you're in a cold room, grab a blanket because we'll be here for a while. So hip closest to the wall, leg will kick up. And then from here, you just kind of scooch your sit bones in nice and tight to the wall. If you have really short hamstrings, the knees are going to be at a pretty significant bend. Then I would say to move further away from the wall until you can straighten your legs or at least get them close to being straight going up the wall. I have pretty open hamstrings, so I can scoot up nice and tight where my bum is actually even touching the wall. And this will be where we're starting. Right here, heels are up. Typically, I'm cueing you a flexed or a ferocious or angry foot. We're not going to worry about that today. Feet can stay soft. Arms will part out nice and wide to a T. And once you find your posture, maybe the arms widen out to a T aren't serving you. You can take the fingertips closer to the wall, bring the elbows down closer to the sides. And we'll settle into a full belly breath that we can feel being breathed down the back line of the body, from the heels to the sit bones, to the crown of the head, and back. Closing the eyes, tucking the chin slightly. If you want to stick a thin pillow underneath the back of the head, that's cool. Anything you need for comfort. If you still are pretty uncomfortable and your breath is held, you'll just keep moving away from the wall until you can find a nice, cool, or long, steady breath. I personally love wall yin practice. It is a nice place to feel supported, to unwind. In this practice, we're working into the cooler tissues of the body, so more into like the tendons, ligaments, stressing into the bones and joints. And this kind of stress is actually really good for the joints and the bones, is that in stress on the bones actually makes them stronger. So what we're doing here is going to stress into the joints, stress into the bones, and create lots of strength inside the body, as well as a lot of openness. And part of the asana practice is balance, and that's where we want to find just as much yang as we do yin, and whether that yin is seen as walking or meditating, or this, what we call a yin practice. We'll take 5 more breaths here, big belly breaths in. Heavy exhales out, dropping the belly button closest to the spine. Maybe emotionally, energetically dropping you into the posture a little deeper. And typically, Yin postures are held for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. We probably won't hold them that long, as this practice is designed to be a little bit shorter, just a short injection into your day. But if you would like to hold these postures longer, you're welcome to press pause and then press play when you want to commence. I'm also going to put in a nice juicy playlist with slow music, and it's one of my favorites anyways. I'll add it in there. If you like it, you can listen. If you don't, that's fine. You can put on anything you'd like otherwise. And we'll point the toes up towards the ceiling, work through the front layer of the fascia, and then draw the heels up, toes down, back line of the leg. Oh, that feels juicy for me from yesterday. Pointing the toes and flexing the foot. We'll do 4 more of those. Last 2. And last 1, toes come back towards the shins, and then softening the feet so that the muscle body begins to relax. And the stress of the posture goes into the supporting tissues and bone. On your exhale, you'll widen your heels out, playing with where you start to feel sensation and where naturally stops you. So typically in a studio, you might have some blocks here to help support the legs. We won't be staying here for long because I know that I said that you could do this without any props whatsoever. So as long as you're here and not experiencing any pain, there should be maybe some significant pull happening on the interior of the leg. And breathing for 5. 4. Every exhale, seeing if you can maybe find more space, widen the heels further from midline, or if you do need to use your hands as support underneath the thighs, go ahead and use your hands to support your legs. Last 2 breaths. Whole of the muscle body should be soft, relaxed, letting go, hanging away from the bone. Last breath. And then with your inhale, you will take the support of the palms to the outside of the legs and slowly, using the muscular tension of the interior of the leg and a little support from the hands, bring the heels back through center. So this is a little bit more of a powerful way to come back. I have a lot of shaking happening. My body's like, we have done a lot of yoga. From here, we'll take a bend through the right knee and start to trace the inside of the right foot down the left leg. You can use your hand to push the right knee towards the wall or come out arms to a T. Breathing here for 5. 3. And on your final exhale, you'll bring your right knee towards the right rib and plant the sole of your foot down onto the wall. If you need to take your foot up higher, that's fine. Or if you want to squeeze it in, we're just coming in for a half wind removing pose with left leg still going up the wall. Soft bind of the top side of the shin. And don't strangle the absolute bejesus out of your fingers. I know I end up doing that all the time, and it's like, why does it need to be so hard? You can stay here or go into a half happy baby, kicking the heel up over top of the knee and taking inside arch grip with the right hand. And if you do hear any popping or anything, that is not me passing gas. That is my foot on the wall. I did that the other day. I was recording and you could hear it pulling on the wood, my wood floors. And I stopped the video because I was like, there's just no way someone's going to think that this is passing gas for sure. Not that that's a bad thing, but if I can avoid it, I will. We'll come back, plant the foot onto the wall, bring the knee in close over top of the heart. And we're just going to work with internal and external rotation of the knee. So as much as you can, bring the knee across body. This is probably going to feel a little bit difficult or not as smooth and open as external rotation. Come back through center and externally rotate open to the right. So that's pretty easy for me, but it really depends on how your bones were formed as a baby. Using muscular energy, bring your knee back through center and cross over center line. Open. And last time, crossing over center line. Then we'll take this right ankle, bring it over left thigh. This may be where you stay, and it's a worthy pursuit. If you are seeking self-mastery, you have something deeper that you want to go to, a place further into your body you want to travel, you can take a bend through the left knee as you slowly drag the foot down the wall, bringing your right shin bone closer towards the heart. So this is a wall figure four. I don't have a ton of space in my wall figure four, so I'm going to use my palm of my hand to push the right knee towards the wall just to open my hips slightly. You want to flex that right foot. Always coming back to your breath inside of a yin posture. This is where we meet our edge. What the edge is an area that we can go to inside the body that offers significant discomfort, but outside of pain. And then we hold. So this hold is part of the yin process. It takes a moment for the muscles to stop working and fall away from the bone and actually get deep into the yin practice. And you have the option to stay here if you're really enjoying this, or you can release your heels, send them both up the wall with straight legs, or go one step deeper with me and come into a twisted figure four. So this is going to be where this figure four shape drops over to the left, arms come out nice and wide, shoulder height. And your stomach might start gurgling inside this posture because it is putting a lot of compression through the organ body, a lot of compression into the belly, and it really shakes up the energy system of the belly and starts to break free the emotional brain and releases any stored or repressed emotions that can be happening inside the belly. That's where we like to keep everything. I'm going to come back through just to my figure four shape. So I'll come back, take the shape up the wall. You can unwind your ankle and come back, but I'm just going to land in my figure four because the twist wasn't feeling right for me. So you can stay in the twist, but we're here for 5 more breaths. If you are still in your twist, making your way back, legs up the wall. So we'll unwind right ankle, both feet come back up the wall, and we'll rebound here for 4 big belly breaths. Maybe feeling the belly squeeze down into the earth as it fills with air, and then exhaling, belly drops towards the spine as the whole body drops into the ending of the exhale. When you're ready, left knee bends, externally rotate the hip to drop your sole of your foot along the inseam of your right leg. Half butterfly. You can use your left palm to press the knee forward, but we don't need to look for a ton of sensation. There are some people who in this practice are always trying to push beyond their edge. And when we hold it for a long period of time, you end up holding your breath, which eliminates the breath flowing and nourishing the body and causes a lot of stress to the body, which is counter to what we want to be doing here. Stress of the mind, a no. Stress of the body, a yes. I'm going to take my left hand and see if I can pull my left ankle closer towards my groin and then push my knee towards the wall and allow it to be. I can go a lot deeper on this side than I could on the other. No judgment, no better or worse, just it simply is. Probably one of the biggest challenges of a slower yin practice is the mind. How do I tame the mind? And you can bring in a quiet ujjayi breath, so that restriction of the throat, bringing heat into the belly. Maybe you want to wrap yourself in a blanket while you're here, staying focused on the breath and body sensation. And 2 more cycles of breath. If you are holding on at all through the inner groin, seeing if your breath can release any of the muscular tension and hold. Last breath. And we'll bring the knee towards the outside of left rib, plant the sole of left foot down onto the wall, and you can take your hands around the shin for a half wind removing pose. The muscle body wants to be soft to release further into the depth of this posture. If there's any gripping in the jaw, tongue, back of the leg, hands, outside of what needs to be, see if you can make an adjustment to be 5 or 10% softer and come back in and watch the breath. Releasing the bind of your hand, you'll plant your foot firmly into the wall. Use muscular tension to bring the knee towards center and maybe cross it over midline. And definitely for me, this side feels like there's a concrete wall there. And then on your exhale, opening up the knee and pressing it towards the wall. Muscular engagement, bringing the knee back through center, crossing over midline. And I definitely need this on this side, and opening back up like a butterfly. So we'll just do this 3 more times, depending on how fast you're doing it. The slower you go, the more shake or resistance you'll get from your muscle body as it gets tired when it goes into postures or directions that it's not used to. Like me crossing over the midline, it's just like that so out of shake that we had. And then we'll come back through center, take left ankle over right thigh. Option to stay here, or sweep the right heel down the wall and come into your reclined figure 4. The nice thing about this is that we don't even have to use our hands. We can just use the wall to hold the leg, to hold the position. I'm starting to feel a bit of a pull on the interior of my knee, so that tells me that I've gone too far, and I'm going to lift my heel up slightly. So although my muscle body says, heck yeah, Melanie, go deeper, my knee is like, not today. And if you have the space and the safety to close your eyes here, close your eyes and shift your consciousness into the tops of the shoulders and see if you can draw them any further down the back body, creating a nice gap between the ears and the shoulders. Play with loosening the jaw from side to side, sticking your tongue out, bringing it back in, and then resting. Option to stay here. If you're going to stay in your figure 4 shape and you want to see if you've got a little bit more space, because that tends to happen when we stayed in a posture for a little bit of time, you might want to bring your heel further down the wall or drop your shape over to the right for a twisted figure 4. This shape probably serves you better if your sit bones are further away from the wall. You'll have a lot more space for your twist to drop into. For me, I had to tighten up into a little ball. And I think that's about enough for me. I'm going to come out of my twist and go back to figure 4, but you're welcome to stay if it feels good. If you want more sensation across the shoulders, you can take the arms and reach them a little bit higher over shoulder height or even overhead. If you're reaching overhead or lifting above the shoulders, you want to make sure that your elbows, your whole arm is supported by the earth and nothing is floating. If anything is floating, you're going to take your arms out a little bit wider until the whole part of the arm is flat to the earth. So we don't want, the rotator cuff is a beautiful joint, ball and socket joint, but it's muscle, tendon, and ligament, and we don't want to be putting too much strain on the tendons and ligaments that are supporting your shoulder, and even lengthening too much through the shoulders. We do need them to be strong so that the shoulder socket is stable. If you are in your twist, you'll come back slowly and gradually unwind. Both legs go up the wall exactly where we started. 2 big breaths. Last one. Hold. Empty. Soles of the feet are going to come together for bound angle. Soles of the feet find each other in prayer. You can use the palms of your hands to press your knees towards the wall and hold. As long as you can anchor yourself into your elbows and just use pressure and compression to hold the posture. You don't really want to be using a lot of muscular energy here, or you can let your arms fall wide and the heels are going to naturally make their way down towards the interior of the groin. And there'll be some nice time to unwind inside this posture. And I'm going to be quiet because this is such a beautiful practice to go inward and explore. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? For 10 breaths. In your final 4 breaths, check in with the inseam of the leg. See if there's any engagement happening. Maybe you even want to massage the interior of the leg. Bring some blood flow in. Take a deep breath in. Hold it once you're full. Still massaging, bringing blood flow to the surface of the skin. Continue to hold, and release. Stay in the posture for 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to use your hands to support the legs as they extend back up the wall, straightening through the knees, bringing the legs as straight as they can. Feet are nice and soft. You can close like this in legs up the wall or in a yang practice waterfall. Or you can take your arms up overhead so the wrists stack over top of the shoulders and just soften through the fingertips. This is dead bug. Rightfully so. And this also works to help with the lymphatic drainage system, to work with gravity, and bringing the blood in towards the heart for a fresh flush. We'll close off here, whether you're in dead bug or in just legs up the wall, arms alongside, or fingertips brushing the wall. This is where practice ends. You can stay as long as you'd like. You can stay up to 10 minutes if you'd like, or as little as 3 more breaths. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.